Hey, how's it going, folks? I've been surrounded by migrant workers, and they always thought that us Australian born or native born, actually, I shouldn't say native born, but if the country of born are doing better off than them. Many migrants who come to Australia will chase the Australian dream or American dream or whatever the country dream is. It's a lot easier for them because they usually take the low skill job. That is rarely you do job hopping. As myself who was born in Australia, I never thought of how migrants feel on us. And the more I looking down to it, I could see the fact that for Australian born, we would take on a lot better paying job or skilled or office role. But many of the migrants do not know the fact that the game that most of the Australians or the Westerners, right, is the fact that they job hopping left, right, and center. Whether it's toxic work culture, whether it's the KPI they are not meeting, or the skill set, or X, Y, and Z, whatever the reason, they tend to choose different company. Maybe because they dated the girl, their co-worker, and things went down south. It can be any of those, alright? I'm not here to say good or bad. And many of the Australians will never buy the houses like my age bracket. And when I look deeper, I step back and I look at them. They're asking me what is the best career choices, because working in my field, it's majority of them are migrants who work in my field. No Australian wants to work in the field because they don't want to go through, feces, urinated, blood, and vomit. They wanted to have a job that has a good name. The thing that close to that is a plumber. It's a high-paying job. So for me to look at it and step back and how they work in a job, and they wanted to have a form of career advancement, and technically we all wanted to have a form of career advancement to reduce the hours of work and spend a lot more quality time amongst our family. However, with the current cost of living, that narrative does not come alight too well, because of the fact that the whole thing is it's just getting harder and struggle, and migrants tend to go through a lot bigger stuff, and they don't realize that they have to play this monopoly game, right? It's the fact that the migrants have to compete amongst their peers, the family people who has a competition, save faces. One gets another house, one gets a Mercedes, or whatever, how it is, right? And us Australians, all born in whatever the country it is, we tend not to thrive with that because we don't know what stability is like, or maybe we're not that hungry to go to that level or to clock that many hours and become westernized and taking the bludgeoning route or lazy route or having weekend off, not doing overtime, X, Y, and Z. I'm not here to complain. I'm just here to say, these are the factors I never thought deeply about. So, for me, if you put my position, once upon a time when I was in the family, I dreamed of having another house. I've dreamed of having another business of my own. And the more I think about it now, how stupid I was. Because you never know when my job is going to be reduced, or the government has to change the law, or X, Y, and Z. But the migrants, they do not care. If they're clean or whatever, they'll get the house, they do not care. But when they start to realize jobs are drying up, or monies are drying up, they start to realize, man, the Aussies are the ones who last longer in their field. They live happy, they have a couple of holidays in the year. Not like the migrants have to think of house debts and the other house debts and the car debt and X, Y, and Z over the competition amongst our peers. They don't really see the lens that where we're coming from. They think that the Australian borns or the Western borns are privileged, easy to get jobs, and X, Y, and Z. In my world of thinking, in Australia, there's really not much jobs. If you're going to talk about IT, the AI ChatGPT can replace it, So they pretty much can do the coding and X, Y, and Z. And the low skill job is where it's looking at. But then again, how much longer is this golden era going to be around? So that's how we looked at the life where many of us may not realize or taking the risk. Reward yourself, enjoy for yourself. That's what the Westerners like to yawn about. So that's the video that I look deeply into and see the context of the whole thing. And I get to see a lot of migrants who bought many houses and they start to realize, oh crap, this interest rate. You never know. Interest rate will continue to go up till next year. It's all about how the economy goes. And where they come from a world that it's like pretty much they can borrow money and they put the family assets and they sign up for 30 years of their life and they have a form of fixed interest rate. And that's what they believe in Australia or the Western world when they landed, it's going to be that way. The banks do not care. You don't have that special privilege. Or you might have it if you have a refinance, then your other properties are going to be in it. If one gets screwed over, all the domino effects are created in full. That's the video, and I just wanted to deeply look more what's on to the next one, what's the bigger picture, to change myself, to work in that direction since I'm separated.